What is the worst thing to happen to you during sex? Her little fucking rat dog of a chihuahua snuck in the room while we're fucking and attacked me. You have no idea how fast a man can move when there is a set of tiny evil teeth coming at your junk. His dick hit my asshole full speed. Not once but twice. Never jumped so high or out of bed so fast in my life. The pain was so bad I thought I was going to black out. And I suffer from debilitating menstrual cramps from endometriosis. This had nothing on those cramps. I shit blood for about a day. And my ass hurt every time I coughed or sat down for about a week. It took me a while to get the fear if it happening again out of my head tbh. And I couldn't bring myself to sleep with the guy ever again after that. Same thing happened to me. With my fiancé. I have never felt a pain like that before. I couldn't breathe. I jumped up and I had to pace the room trying to ground myself. It was terrible. I bought some fancy, organic lube to try with my boyfriend at the time. We get down to business and my vagina starts stinging a little bit. Then a lot. Then full on burning. We quickly stop and he says that his bits are feeling a little tingly but not the level I'm on. I grab the lube bottle and take a better look at it. Just says normal, organic, unscented lube. I spend 5 minutes looking all over this damn bottle before I find the problem in the very last listed ingredient, menthol. My vagina continued to burn for the next hour. I was banging my girl doggy style. Her dog jammed his snout in my crack and started licking my asshole, closest I ever got to a threesome. Had my cervix hammered at the wrong angle and bruised it. I almost went to the ER but suffered through after some drive. Google made me feel like I wasn't going to die for once. I bled a little but the pain lasted days. For sure was waddling to walk for the first day. I once passed out mid-climax. I didn't eat that day and I just collapsed on her. She thought I straight up died on her. Wasn't too serious but was definitely not fun. I actually know someone who was with a man who died during sex. He was an older fellow and I guess his heart couldn't handle it. It fucked her up for a long time. D-Bag XBF thought he was a sex god cause he was slightly above average size-wise. Well, I was not turned on. No lube plus him just trying to get it in tore my vag. I'm bleeding and telling him to stop. He does. Then just says I'm going to go finish in the bathroom without asking if I'm okay or what's going on. We were exes not long after that. The guy had a sudden pain. One side of his penis and groin turned black and blue. Had to go to the ER. Thought I broke his penis. It was a blood clot that moved there due to what was going on, the erection. Started farting uncontrollably, in rhythm to my thrusts. Thank God they were dry. My boyfriend let loose with a loud fart during some fancy moves. I knew he was a keeper when we both just died laughing. We've been married a decade now. Worst for me physically, pulling both hamstrings. First one, then the other while compensating. Worst for me mentally, my GF's mom walking in on us. 3 times now. Bonus afterward when I heard her gossiping with a friend about it over the phone. Had a one-night stand that started and ended terribly. His kisses were like sandpaper. He fingerbanged violently and without commitment. And then complained about how dry I was. I was at my wit's end but recommended that he go down on me to moisten things up and was hoping he would be good at something. Instead he told me that he doesn't do that shit, laid me back down and poured a bottle of water on my crotch, seriously thinking that's what was going to help. We were both pretty drunk but I think I may have taken this guy's virginity looking back. I told him I had to pee. Kicked my clothes into the other room and snuck out. Please sex gods, never again. The only thing I got from this was a funny story and, reluctantly, a wet crotch. She was sitting on my face. And I rolled my head back right when she came down. My front tooth pierced her about 2 centimeters away from her clitoris. By her urethra. She moaned and drew away for a second. Then jumped up to the bathroom. I looked down and saw a significant pool of blood on my chest. I remember the sound of an ear piercing. Like rapid fire puncturing, but with my tooth. I was eating her out. When she began to climax, she had her thighs on my shoulders with her legs up. She began squeezing my neck really hard. Not wanting to ruin her orgasm, I kept going until I passed out from her choking me out like that. She thought she killed me. I was only out for like a minute, but to her it was like 5. Used to have kind of that roll around sex where you drastically change positions and just going at it. We were on the floor and we somehow tipped this heavy ass lamp over and a metal part hit her square in the lip. Busted it pretty decently. We worked at the same place and her excuses for it were terrible. That's all I remember. I'll throw this in, edit, also same girl. Going at it. Take her pants off in the pitch black and just chuck them across the room. Hear this unbelievably loud sound of shattered glass. Said fuck it. Kept going at it. Found out in the morning it was my roommate's bong, in a million pieces, he just said after I told him, if you're gonna break it. That's the way to do it. Was on top and went to kiss him as he was coming up and cracked my nose on his big ass forehead. It made a pop and I was so sure it broke. But ended up only being sore for a days. He picked on me making Owen Wilson jokes for like 2 days after because I kept freaking out about if it was crooked or not. I was getting a hand job from my girl, now ex, and I just fell asleep. I was really tired from the night before. And the hand job wasn't that good either, she noticed when I started snoring. I remember my BF and I rented a house for a weekend with some of his buddies. We were super drunk and went to bed and started sexy time. He fell asleep mid-sex. I then got up, got dressed and went outside to keep drinking with the guys. One of his drunk friends is like begging me to let him sleep in the room with us so he doesn't have to sleep on the floor. Drunk me was like, yeah, okay. So then we go to sleep. I climb in on my BF's left side and the friend on the right. No big deal. But the next day my boyfriend was like, WTF, you left me there with my dick out and then invited my friend to sleep next to me. Haha, still cracks me up thinking about it. They're hella close and we all laughed about it. Though we were so drunk that night no one knew but my BF. We were in the middle of it when we both got hit with horrible stomach aches. I was in the middle of asking him to stop when he abruptly bolted toward the only bathroom. Apparently, something we had eaten earlier that day was less than fresh. And, due to circumstances of the position we were in, I didn't get to the toilet first and had to wait in the fetal position until it became vacant. It was not a good time. Bonus story, I learned that I was allergic to latex in the worst possible way. Same partner. A couple of years prior to the poo-splosion experience. Young love. While having car sex, had a very nice elderly woman pull over to make sure we were okay. It didn't happen to me. I did it to them. I was on vacation and met a guy the first got along with really well. We wound up back at his place. While we were in the middle of things I got a really bad leg cramp, so I started saying, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, and he thought I was having an orgasm and kept going. I accidentally kicked him in the face trying to get my legs out from under him. Sorry Sam. Gagged on my boyfriend's dick mid-deep throat and let out a giant fart. Better than throwing up on his dick like me. Thankfully closed my mouth around it and caught it all. Made it to the bathroom, but it was still so embarrassing. Halfway through breakup sex, ended on decent terms, there was one thrust way too hard and I got sharp pain. Yelped out in pain and we paused for a second but went back a little gentler. At the end I stood up and my entire torso was sore and sharp pain at the same time. I waited about 30 minutes. Sobbing on the floor before I let him take me to the ER. 3 hours and a CT scan later. Turns out he fucked me so hard that he burst a cyst on my ovary. Guy the first lost my virginity invited me over. We were both in high school. I apparently wasn't over my period yet, so got blood on his dick and he got so mad he kicked me out. I had no car, so his best friend ended up picking me up and driving me home and apologized on his behalf. Someone lost a lip ring eating me out once. He must have unscrewed the ball with his tongue. We found the ring but not the ball. To this day I pray it was in the carpet. Another time during a threesome I had arranged with a married couple, the man left mid-sex and didn't return, and so I kinda slowed down with his wife. She was cuddling and chilling with me for a while before I eventually asked if she was gonna go check on him. Then she said, we made an arrangement that if one of us leaves the room the other one has to follow. It was basically their safe word, signal, as they'd never had a threesome before, and she told me this after I had been alone with her for probably like 10 minutes. I never saw them again, but I was very uncomfortable with the bad communication, and I hope they worked things out after that. Maybe even with some counseling. At 19 I broke my left hip. Reverse cowgirl gone so very wrong. We still finished. Got a hip replacement and ride like a champ now. Married the guy. He was going to fucking town on me with some toys while eating me out. Right as I came, super hard. Saw stars. I blasted a giant queef right in his sweet face. In my defense, he was the one cramming a bunch of air all up in there. I came inside my girlfriend and pulled out, and it got all over my bed. Before we had a chance to clean it up, my cat jumped on the bed right in it. Sorry, Bender. He did not like that bath. All I'm gonna say is, if you do one of those spicy food challenges at a restaurant, make sure you use some mouthwash or something and wash your hands really well before sexy time. My husband cooked dinner with spicy peppers. And didn't wash his hands as well as he thought. Burning lady bits for hours afterward. And now he understands why gloves are recommended when handling peppers. She started shaking and hyperventilating. Mumbling the name, 4X, over and over. Had no idea what was happening, I just cradled her. Apparently that was her best friend's name that raped her years ago, and we were getting so rough she had a PTSD flashback. We went out for a walk after and ordered pizza. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and hit the notification button. See you next time.